Coming up on Mountain News this morning, Kentucky school districts are in the middle of readying plans for next school year, but say some proposed plans may not be possible. And people who have needed a new driver's license or ID have not had many options over the past 2 months, but that is now changing here in Kentucky.
Dedicated to Eastern and Southern Kentucky, this is WYMT Mountain News this morning.
Good morning, I'm Katie Cook. It is Wednesday, May 20th, and the time is about 6:34. Let's check in with Brandon Robinson for a look at your forecast this morning. Good morning to you, Brandon. Could you give us all a little bit of hope and tell us when we could expect to see some sunshine again?
I can give you just a little bit of hope, Katie, and good morning to you. We will see a couple more days of scattered chances, but some sunshine on the horizon, and some spots may see a little bit this morning. So let's see what's going on. We take a look at the last 6-hour loop of the satellite radar, and you see the bulk of the rain has moved out for now. We're going to continue to watch that, but look outside the WYMT studios in Hazard. There's just a little bit of sun trying to peek through the skies this morning, so that's some good news for us. Skies clearing at least briefly. We'll see more rain chances move in this afternoon in places that definitely don't need them. Hopefully most of the rain is pushed off to the east, but we'll see how that plays out once we get into the afternoon. Temperatures in the 40s and 50s this morning. Out the door forecast is going to feature rain chances that increase again this afternoon, as mentioned, and it could be heavy at times, so stay on your toes and make sure you have a way to get alerts later on today. Katie?
All right, thank you, Brandon. One man is dead in Mingo County, and one of his suspected murderers is still on the run. John Jackson was killed Saturday in Williamson, West Virginia, after police say he was beaten and stabbed before left to burn in an apartment complex. James Church and Charles Chuck Jarvis have both been arrested in connection to the murder, but police are still searching for the third person they believe is involved. Jackson's family says they are just hoping for justice.
John did not deserve this, you know. I mean, in no way should anyone deserve to be brutally taken out like that. And we want these guys to get the extreme punishment.
Messer said his family is still in shock. Anyone with information about the fire or the third man involved is asked to contact the Williamson Police Department. A Monday night shooting sent one man to the hospital and another in jail. Investigators in Floyd County arrested Stephen Moore yesterday. He faces a charge of first-degree assault and being a convicted felon in possession of a gun. Police found the victim, Tyler Ousley, at Pikeville Medical Center with a gunshot to the back. He is expected to survive, and state police do not know what led up to the shooting. Some former University of Kentucky cheerleaders do not agree with UK's decision to fire all 4 cheerleading coaches. The investigation by UK zeroes in on a lack of oversight by staff during off-campus events. The allegations include public nudity while performing stunts at Lake Cumberland, to drinking so much that they needed medical attention. Former UK cheerleader Jacqueline Fife says it was only 2 years ago when these people coached her.
They do not approve of any kind of underage drinking. Even if you were of age, they didn't want you drinking at any functions, wearing any kind of apparel. It was known that you are under a microscope in this program.
A more recent alumnus of the program called into Kentucky Sports Radio yesterday and admitted to skinny dipping and drinking. However, he said the coaching staff were unaware and not there. Staying in Lexington, as retail stores reopen today, some of you might head up to Lexington and Fayette Mall, and you can expect plenty of changes. Hours will be limited early on, while only a handful of stores actually plan to reopen. Meanwhile, several restaurants outside and inside the mall are planning on serving customers for takeout or delivery. Mall workers will need to wear masks, and security guards will be on hand to break up groups of 10 or more people. Kentucky school superintendents are tasked with having multiple options on board to start the next school year. Looking at July, an early start, August on time, and after Labor Day, a late start. There are complications all around. WYMT's Will Puckett talked with 2 superintendents and has more.
For Corbin Independent Superintendent David Cox, his stress levels these days are a little high.
Well, certainly there's a bit of stress involved. I hate it right now. My main thought right now are for our seniors.
Those feelings are echoed across eastern Kentucky to Tom Cochran, the superintendent of Johnson County Schools.
We want to make sure that our kids are safe and our staff are safe. That's our number one priority.
They are left working with their other district personnel, trying to figure out what 3 different starting options would look like for them.
The first option for us is not realistic. We have had planned all year long and been doing construction.
The same goes for Corbin. The July start date just for both is not feasible.
What we're being asked to do, through no fault of anybody's, but what we're being asked to do is prepare for multiple scenarios and try to accommodate students and staff in the safest, most efficient way that we can, not knowing what all the game rules are at this point.
Corbin with 3,000 and Johnson with 3,400 students. Both are just awaiting more guidance.
A lot of worry with the guidance that's going to come out next week from public health as far as the PPE. And for me specifically, the face masks are of big concern.
In the meantime, they hope it ends with students in schools to gain their best learning.
No matter how well we do in this virtual setting, nothing replaces a teacher in the classroom. You can't replace that, and I'll go to my grave believing that.
While also staying safe. Will Puckett, WYMT Mountain News.
They do expect more guidance to come out next week that will better steer schools towards which option they will need to take.
Time now for our daily Helpers and Heroes segment, where we highlight folks from across the region that are working on the front lines and being essential workers right now. Let's take a look at our submissions today. Our first picture comes to us from Leslie Feltner. This is her daughter, Autumn Deaton. Autumn is working on the front line as a cashier at Save-A-Lot, where she has worked for the last 2 years while finishing up high school as a member of the class of 2020. Congratulations on your graduation, by the way, Autumn. Her mom says she loves helping other people. Thank you, Autumn, for being awesome. Our next picture was submitted by Timmy Miller. Danny Scott is a Pike County Constable, which in itself is definitely a frontline job, but he's also been going above and beyond to help coordinate food distribution and delivery at a local food bank, something he's been doing since 2000, so that's quite a long time there. Talk about giving back in a big way, especially now. Thanks, Danny, for your service. And finally today, our last picture comes to us from Harlan County. Jody sent in this picture of John Stewart. John is an essential worker at the Verta Sawmill. We were told he's worked long hours to make sure lumber companies across the area have the wood they need for building projects. His co-workers say he is their unsung hero. And of course, we've been getting all kinds of submissions. Keep them coming. Get on the website, WYMT.com, Helpers and Heroes section. Make sure you put a name and a description with them. And again, we'd love to showcase you and your frontline workers. Just go on over there and submit that photo. Katie?
All right, Brandon, thank you. And thank you for joining us on Mountain News this morning. Coming up, during the state stay-at-home order, it turns out Kentuckians are spending a lot more money on alcohol, but some sales are actually going down.